Right, we seem to be having a few sound issues. Hopefully that's okay. Right, some news. And news came in this week and of the reported death of the alt media establishment and CIA clown, Robert David Steele. Now, Steele came to my attention many years back when he was installed into the alt media, and he didn't sit right with me from the off. Ex-CIA was his description. Is there ever an ex-CIA? Or are they always on call despite retirement? Now, Steele was involved with Neil Keenan during the infamous bust-up with myself and Cosmic Voice, and he went over to shut Neil up, as I was not only exposing Neil but his agency accomplices at Langley too. Now, Neil, 3 months later, was declared dead according to several sources, and a body double 30 to 40 pounds fatter and 10 years older replaced him. But was Steele involved in removing the now failed asset Keenan? I don't know. But given Steele admitted he was a mercenary assassin for the CIA, one can deduce that it was a strong possibility. Failed assets, don't fare too well in agency circles, and their policy of dead men can't talk is echoed through all walks of life, not just the alt media. And Steele's propensity to turn up and be involved in many key groups or aspects of the alt media was the origin of me calling him the alt media interceptor man. He always turned up like a bad penny. From collateral accounts to his disturbing leap into the burgeoning child sexual abuse by elites via the Monarch programs and others, he came up with ITNJ with his Orsini family-backed sidekick with the fake stage name Sasha Stone. And they didn't just investigate the child sexual abuse, ritual and sacrifice abuse, they collected names of those who spoke out about it, and then used bullying and intimidation tactics to discredit the speakers and then stifle the discourse. And ITNJ, in my opinion, was the agency's attempt to kill the narrative. Now, they say you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but I'm delivering the facts of when he was alive, and they were damning against we the people. Steele's legacy was borne out in our Clowns in Panic show, how he and the in-your-face agency joke, calling the group OSS, that set about spying on everything and everyone with their open source technology. And Steele said the public will become the intelligence, and sadly the gullible people who followed them all thought it would stop the rogue agencies. Wrong thinking. No, it was to make everyone an unpaid spy with their so-called smartphones. And that is his legacy. And we did more than most to expose the criminality and deceit of Robert David Steele. Others followed much later and added to it. I warned in a previous show that Steele would disappear. It is what failed assets do. And the great question is, did he disappear from being taken out and killed, given how ill he looked in recent pictures? Perhaps poisoning, or is death faked to hide him from the alt media exposure of him? Something that over time we will find the answer to. But this incident is a word of warning for all the agents within the alt media community, all 95+% of them. Yes, you heard that right. And perhaps it's time to cut your ties with agencies and also come clean with the public. Right, where are we going next? Oh dear. You wish to know why America is splashing the cash so much recently? Well, here is why. and this is in part from Anna von Reitz, where she said the bearer bonds that are attached to the clearinghouse certificates, known as birth certificates, had been traded for gold more than a week and a half ago, and that Chief Fast Horse assumed authority to make such a deal. There was two choices: A, take the aforementioned bearer bonds and do the work to settle them, and so that they can never again be used to promote enslavement, or B, take the gold that was the purchase price of the slaves. The treasonous hierarchy of the US military took the gold. But the most important thing is that if you choose gold over your life, you choose death over life also. But one has to ask, just what is the lead banker of the world done to stop this? Why wasn't it blocked? Is, as I forecast in October last year, is she now rendered irrelevant in the scheme of things? And clearly what this shows is they are no longer working with her to release the trust funds. As I stated last December, there is no funds coming from the trust anytime soon, because once the Amiga platform was emptied and funds transferable to it denied, that was the end of the funds. But as the head of every bank and trustee, this deal should never have gone ahead, and she must be held accountable for her failure to block this deal. Because if, as I suspect, what they will use those funds for, a NATO war with Russia, which is the cover for the Hebrew Anunnaki to attack Iran, she will have blood on her hands. Period. And it proves the folly of being a one-person trust, just as she was warned several times. If something goes wrong, the person with all the titles takes the flak.